whether you feel new or ready actually doesn't matter when you look at some of the things that you have actually done that give you the credibility to do what you are here to do. Hello friends, welcome back to the Brand Is You podcast with me, Robyn Savage. I'm super excited to be having this conversation with you today because I feel like this is something that commonly comes up with my clients in my audience. You know, this feeling of like, am I ready? Am I good enough to do this work? Am I smart enough to be sharing or teaching or showing up online? Do I even really know what I'm doing? And this imposter syndrome or this, sense of readiness that we continually chase and wait for can really slow us down and prevent us from meeting our highest potential. So what I want to do today is I want to walk you through some ways that you can start to see and meet your own credibility, your own expertise, and your own readiness in a sense, so that you can start to take the action and you can start to build momentum around your work and you can begin doing more of what you are here to do. As you know, I really do believe that the brand is you. And so the more you know yourself and the more you know what you are capable of, the bigger your brand is going to become, the more impact you will have and the more income you will earn. So let's dive in, shall we? First and foremost, a lot of you will say things like, oh, this is like my first brand or my first business, or I've just pivoted and started in a new industry, and this is a new conversation that I'm having inside my brand. So like, I don't know if I'm ready yet. I don't know if I'm an expert. I don't know if I can talk about this. But the truth is, it's not just you today that we're looking at. It's you in all of your past years and all of your past experiences, challenges, careers, education, all of it that we're looking at to really collect credibility, to collect these skills that you've acquired over the years, to look at who you've been, to really take into account who you are now, what you're capable of, and what you are becoming. None of us are starting today, right? We've all had experiences. We've all been through things, whether it's degrees, whether it's really hard, challenging times in life, whether it's certifications, accreditations, whether it's past businesses that have failed and taught us something, whether it's 10-year careers in a different industry. These are the things that we want to start to look at to really get this wider lens, this broader perspective of what we have accomplished, what we have achieved in order to get to where we are, okay? So first and foremost, I want you to reflect on your own personal and professional background, okay? Consider your education, trainings you've done, professional experiences that you've had. So you can literally write a list. Yoga teacher training, leadership camp, 10-year experience in the finance industry, 3 years of XYZ, okay? And I want you to just write a list of all of the experiences that you've had over the years. What industries have you worked in? What roles have you held? And I want you to reflect on the skills, the knowledge, and the expertise in each one of those different times in your life that have helped you get where you are today, okay? If you don't feel like you are ready, or like you have learned something, or that you have a bit of credibility behind you by the end of this list, I will be shocked. Because typically what we find out when we look at all of the experiences that we've had is that we're actually a lot more capable than we give ourselves credit for, okay? Next, I want you to assess your skills and strengths. Like, what are you best at? What are the skills that you've developed through all of these roles, through all of your years as a student? Okay. I want you to identify your core competencies, okay? The things that you are very best at. And in that list that you just created of the skills that you've adapted and learned over the years, I want you to put a big star beside those so that you can start to note what your actual personal strengths are. Are you a really great communicator? Are you a creative thinker? Are you a really excellent problem solver? Okay, are you a great writer? Are you what are the things that you are really, really good at? And you can look at both hard skills, so technical skills that are related to your job. So I'm a jewelry maker and I make really beautiful fine jewelry, and I'm very personable, okay? So soft skills that actually lend itself to your personality that are gonna come into your brand identity, okay? So you can look at these different sets of skills to show yourself what you're really capable of. Next, I want you to start to really look at your qualifications and credentials. A lot of us don't even consider these things anymore. I know for myself, I went to university I got my undergrad in business, and then I went to Emily Carr for postgrad in industrial design, and then I got a lighting certification at the Illuminated Engineering Society in New York for lighting design. I have a lot of formal education. I don't even think about it anymore. It doesn't even cross my mind that those are credentials, diplomas, literally, and degrees that have helped get me where I am. So maybe you don't have any of those things, but I'm willing to bet that you've had a job. I'm willing to bet you have taken some sort of course or training. I'm willing to bet that you have certain qualifications behind you that have helped you enhance your skill set and helped you build credibility in your chosen field. So maybe that's an online course, maybe it's a workshop that you've done, but these are just things to show yourself that you have learned, okay? You have the knowledge. You have been developing the skill over time. Whether you feel new or ready actually doesn't matter when you look at some of the things that you have actually done that give you the credibility to do what you are here to do, okay? So next, you can reflect on your experiences and your personal achievements, okay? Whether you've gone to school, maybe you were a high school dropout and you never actually finished school, it doesn't matter. Maybe you have no technical trainings in your work. Maybe you're self-taught. Gold, okay? This is gold because you have learned through experience. Education and experience are very, very different, and neither one of those things is better or worse. Okay, so when you look at your past experiences and achievements, you can think about the projects that you've worked on and completed, the challenges you've overcome, oh my gosh, the successes that you've achieved throughout your life and career. Maybe you got sober, maybe you moved across the country, maybe you traveled the world for 2 years. Those are experiences that you've been through that have taught you something, and those lessons that you've learned build to give you credibility to teach and talk about the specific challenges that you overcame, okay? So what notable achievements or milestones have you reached? Pay attention to those things. Look back and write them down, okay? What lessons have you learned from your experiences? Write down the key lessons that you learned that got you where you are. And these experiences are going to provide valuable insights to your audience, to your soul clients, to the people who are waiting to work for you, because you've been through things that they're either faced with, that they're afraid of, or that they are navigating right now and trying to overcome. So you naturally gain credibility to those people because you're showing them that you've been where they were and you got through it, okay? Next, we tend to really limit ourselves when we think about what credibility is. We think like, oh, I just need these degrees, or I need to make this certain amount of money, or I need to have the house, or I need to be at this point in my career. No, okay, let's just throw all of those ideas in the garbage for a minute, and let's broaden our understanding of what credibility means. And I'm gonna ask you to get a little bit creative right now in this consideration, okay? So I want you to look at your passions and your interests. How do your passions and your interests, the things that you do in your free time, help you get better at what you do in your work? Okay? How do the things that you do in your free time help you get better at your work? How do they expand your leadership? How do they expand your creativity? How do they support you in content creation? How do they give you the experiences that are going to help you lead your soul clients and your audience through experiences that they're going through right now? So you can reflect on passions, interests, and hobbies that you have outside of work. What topics and activities do you like exploring in your free time? Okay, this is going to give you a really unique lens through which to really look at your work and to approach your content from. This is going to become a differentiating factor in your brand, because now you're going to be the brand strategist who likes to dance, or you're going to be the accountant who loves to go fishing, or you're going to be the videographer who loves to climb mountains. And this adds to your brand personality, and it shows people like, okay, I like what Robyn's doing in her brand, and I love to watch her dance. I get to know more of her, and I see more of her. And vulnerability and transparency build credibility. Okay? You're not only going to see me doing my work, but you're going to see me living as the person that I say I am, and that's going to build trust and likability. And from there, you're going to be more inspired to take the action to work with me. Okay, so building credibility isn't only about collecting certifications. It's really also about saying, this is who I am, this is what I've been through, this is how I handled it, and this is who I am now. And it's this really beautiful, full spectrum of your entire being that comes into the brand. Again, the brand is you. So we're really looking at credibility as this really big, beautiful picture of who you are today. Okay. Next and lastly, I want you to consider what sets you apart from other people in your industry. So what unique insights, what different point of views, perspectives, what possibly polarizing beliefs have you collected and anchored into as your own on this journey? Okay, perhaps you have a really cool methodology or a way of practicing what you preach. Perhaps you have a really interesting embodiment ritual. Perhaps you have a really cool process making your jewelry or showing up online or building your courses that really make you different. Okay. When you establish these different methodologies, these different approaches, these different processes, and share them with the world, these also bring you credibility as an innovative thinker, as a leader in your industry, and as someone who is willing to do it differently. Okay? Remember that credibility is built when we say we're going to do something and we follow through with it. Okay? We accomplish it. We achieve it. We set out on a mission and we complete the freaking mission, right? So when you look back at your 10, 20, 30 years of becoming you, we aren't just looking for one perfect 10 out of 10 score. We aren't just looking for one, degree from university. We aren't just looking for $100,000 a year to give you the credibility to do your work in the world. We're actually looking at this really big picture, like who have you been to get where you are, and how do you operate in the world as that version of who you are? And I really hope that this gives you some confidence in yourself, okay? By taking this time to reflect on these aspects of who you've been and who you are, your skills, your experiences, your passions, your expertise, your unique insights. These things are going to help you gain a clear understanding of what you're really good at. And my hope for you is that you move through this process and then have a really good conversation with yourself in the mirror and say, you are worthy, you are ready, you've got this. And that you become the brand, because the brand is you and the world is waiting for you. I love you.